Pacific Adventure is on her way home much earlier than anticipated. Plus, Carnival adds another night to its first local cruise, and cruise health protocols continue to change around the world. All that and more now. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Both Norwegian Cruise Line and Royal Caribbean have removed or amended vaccine and testing requirements for upcoming voyages from both the US and Europe. With the biggest changes coming into effect from September, the key takeaway is that unvaccinated guests will be allowed on board in unlimited numbers, and that vaccinated guests won't need to provide a negative test before boarding. The very nature of these changes, along with the fact that the specific requirements will vary between cruise lines, port of departure, as well as itinerary, mean that it's imperative you do your research and refer to your cruise line's website for the most up-to-date information, or work with a good travel agent. These changes will most likely be adopted in other parts of the world over the next 6 to 12 months, including Australia, but we do have to wait and see how that goes. And speaking of Australia, Royal Caribbean have released their highly anticipated local health protocols for their upcoming summer cruise season. Whilst the cruise line has referred to the protocols as preliminary, overall, they fall in line with the local requirements of Princess and P&O. These include full vaccination being required for guests 12 years of age or over, pre-cruise testing, and masks on board being optional for vaccinated travelers and recommended for unvaccinated guests. In line with government regulations, at least 95% of guests on board need to be fully vaccinated, and as such, children 11 and under or adults with a medical exemption will need to apply to make sure that they can be counted in the unvaccinated numbers that are allowed on board. Whilst Pacific Encounter is finalizing preparations for the beginning of her maiden cruise season next week, sister ship Pacific Adventure is on her way and will be arriving much earlier than anticipated. The ship has sailed south through the Suez Canal and was originally scheduled to arrive in Sydney on October 17th. She'll now be arriving according to the New South Wales port schedule on September 9th. The updated arrival is an exciting development, and while details of the ship's time in Sydney before her first scheduled guest cruise on October 22nd remain scant, it does mean that come next month, P&O will for the first time have its entire 3-ship fleet home in Australia. Carnival this week announced a change to one of its upcoming voyages, with the addition of an extra cruise day to its first local cruise. Originally due to depart on October 2nd, Carnival Splendor will now depart Sydney on October 1st and take its guests for a 4-night cruise instead of 3-night cruise, with the new itinerary taking in a stop at Queensland's Moreton Island. The additional day comes at no cost to passengers, except in the case of a few people that have had to change flight and accommodation bookings to suit the new departure date. Of course, Carnival offered full refunds to those that couldn't make the new departure date, but I'm pretty sure that most people would be doing everything that they can to get on board that first cruise. Also changing an upcoming cruise schedule is P&O. Special thanks to Les for letting me know about this one. The Pacific Explorer Christmas cruise will depart on December 19th from Melbourne as planned, but will no longer call in at Burnie. The order of the remaining ports will also change, with the ship now enjoying Christmas Day at sea and an overnight stay in Hobart instead of just the day. P&O also contacted agents and guests this week to remind them that any unused future cruise credits are expiring on August 31st. With many certificates still remaining unused, P&O have actually made the decision to automatically refund any guest certificate that is worth over $25 if it isn't used by the August 31st cutoff. I think that was a great move by the company. It seems that crew and labor shortage issues aren't over yet. Princess have announced the cancellation of 11 cruise itineraries on board their Diamond Princess. The voyages were scheduled to sail from San Diego and depart between September 1st and November 13th this year. With the complete cancellation of the cruise itineraries, it's as yet unknown what, if anything, Diamond Princess will be doing during her downtime. And finally this week, P&O released some sneak peek images of the Pacific Encounter's dining venues. These pictures included shots of Luke's Bar and Grill, Dragon Lady, Angelo's Italian, and 400 Gradi. I'll be bringing you lots of Encounter content from next week, so make sure you stay tuned and hit that subscribe button and notification bell to make sure you don't miss a thing. And that's it for this week's cruise news update. Wherever you are, thank you very much for watching. I hope you are as excited for the arrival of Pacific Encounter and Pacific Adventure as I am. I can't wait to bring you a lot more about both of those ships very soon. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you'd like to, you can follow along on social media, both on Instagram and Facebook at The Cruise and Travel Guy. And if you are looking to book a cruise, you can do that too at thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. That unvaccinated guests will now be able to sail with unlimited numbers and other things. And that vaccinated guests will no longer need to negatively test feels more like an emotional state rather than a physical one. The updated arrival date is an exciting development, and while details of her time in Sydney before her scheduled first guest cruise on October 22nd remains scant, it does mean that from next month, P&O will finally have the longer first scheduled cruise from Sydney on board. Why am I speaking like that?